have some flyers out on the table, and this is the last meeting like this we're having before this takes place. It's Summerfest. It's it's a combination of fun time and so forth. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning. And we just secured our speakers for Sunday morning. And you know a lot, because it kind of was through you that we got the reference here. You know a lot more about them than I do. Can you share a bit who they are and what this is about?
Sure. Yeah, this will be fun. About, 7-8 months ago, I had the privilege to speak at Park Harbor Church in St. Louis Park. And it was a Sunday evening, and most of the crowd looks like us. Except there were a couple about Sabrina's age, maybe just a little bit older. A couple of young guys, and they're just into it. As we're worshiping, they're into the Spirit there. And I'm looking at this, and I'm watching them. So afterwards, I asked the pastor, I said, who are these guys? And who's especially this guy here? He said, oh, that's Pastor Igor. I'm thinking, young Frankenstein. Igor. He said, that's Pastor Igor. His dad is the pastor of Light of the World Slavic Church just a few blocks away. I said, I'd like to make a connection because this young man really impressed me. I want to see if he's for real. And we connected. It took quite a while before we were finally able to get together. But he and I went and had coffee together. And then he and his wife, Tanya, came over. And Sue and I had Tanya and Igor over at our house for dinner. Incredible young couple. Igor was a very young boy when his dad, who is a former Soviet military man turned pastor, even while he was in the Soviet military, he was a follower of Christ, and he was threatened many times by superior officers and others. I'll leave the others in quotes there, and you can figure that out, about whether or not he would maintain his faith in Christ. And they kept telling him how he needed to walk away from Christ, and he wouldn't do it. And he said there were times when we were lined up, and there were 8 or 10 of us, and they had machine guns. And I wouldn't do it. And he said one time 3 guys walked away, and they denied the Lord. They were the ones that were killed. And my superior officer said, don't ever back down. Whether I believe like you believe or not, don't ever back down. He started 3 churches, had 3 great churches going, and then brought his family. And Pastor Igor, I think, is the youngest of, is it 11 kids? It's a tribe. It's a bunch. Their quiver is full. But they all came to the United States, ended up here in Minnesota. So Pastor Visali, I think is how he's pronouncing his name, speaks primarily Ukrainian or Russian in their church services with an interpreter. I got to preach in their church last Sunday. And it's only the second time I've preached with an interpreter. The first time was about a month and a half before to a Pakistani church over Zoom. And now I'm in this Russian church, and I'm saying a phrase, and it's in Russian. I'm saying and it was amazing. These were some of the most wonderful, warm people we've been around. Their heart and love for the Lord, but they know what it's like to come out of an environment that we are fighting not to enter. And so Pastor Igor and his dad get to be here as the guest speaker for Summerfest, and you want to bring your village here for that.